Welcome to the Scotch mini course. I call it mini because it's a bit smaller than some other courses here on Chesley, where I will show you how to play the Scotch opening. One of the easiest openings to play. I played this opening until I was about 1800 over the board, which roughly translates to like 2200 online. I played it a lot. Very easy opening, an opening that you will get on the board a lot, because it's very natural. It follows a natural progression of moves and leads to some very nice positions, I think, for white. So we're going to take a look at the most common moves that people play. And the same philosophy applies as always, meaning I will explain to you, like, the lower elo you are, by lower elo, I mean, let's say 1500 and under, you're going to face some of the more beginner responses of the opponent, which are not that great. And the higher level you are, the more you're going to face people that have studied the Scotch. So they're going to play the more professional stuff, the stuff that mirrors and matches things that grandmasters play. The Scotch begins with e4, black plays e5. I mean, most common opening in chess. Knight f3, and now knight c6. I was considering adding a final chapter to this Scotch course of d6, which is the Philidor defense, which happens about 12 to 13% of the time in this position, and also the Petrov defense, which also occurs roughly around the same. Everything else that black can play is bad. But I think what we'll do is we'll make a part 2. So if you like the Scotch and you like the approach after d4, you will need a weapon against the Petrov defense. Another thing that this might be leading to is black trying to play the Stafford Gambit, very popular and tricky opening. And the truth is, if you play the Scotch, you might as well play d4 against the Petrov too. It's a very, very good line. And d4 is obviously the best move against the Philidor as well, because you want to put the knight in the middle, play knight c3, bishop e3, queen up, and long castle. And you'll see that you get positions like this from the Scotch as well. But more often than not, you're gonna face knight c6. It's the most common position after the first 2 moves of a chess game. And we're not going to worry about knight f6. We are simply going to play this move d4. d4 forces the issue now. Your opponent will probably take. Happens in about 90% of games. Everything else is bad, which we will briefly cover later, but things like d6, they're all kind of bad. Pawn takes, and now knight takes d4. Now black has kind of 2 ways to set up, which follow the top level of chess. Those ways are to play knight to f6, immediately putting some pressure, or bishop to c5. Bishop c5 is not bad. Knight f6 is generally considered the best line to play for black if you're looking to equalize. I'm going to give you a very simple solution against it. I'm not interested in getting into very complicated battles against very well-prepared opponents. But for now, we're going to cover the most popular move, which happens in about 50% of the games, which is black taking the knight, which is just a bad move. But this is why chess does not follow the same linear progression of elo, and chess does not follow the same protocol at amateur level and master level. Nobody at master level plays knight takes knight, and yet half the games you'll face at 2000 elo and below go knight takes knight, and now queen takes. Now this is just great for white because the queen is powerful and cannot be removed easily from the center. Now in this position, black can play this move c5. It's the only way really to attack the queen. It's just a bad move though. And you'll see you can drop the queen back to e3, to d3, or even all the way home. I wouldn't go all the way home, but you can. And the point is that this square is just, it's it. You completely control the square now. With bishop c4 and knight c3, this becomes a backwards pawn, meaning it'll never move forward. It will always be a weakness. And black also blocks natural development of their pieces. So if they play knight f6, you can even consider already just hunting down the knight. You'll see this move in a moment, removing the knight from the center of the board. c5 is really a big nothing burger. You can look at some of the other approaches that we take against black's more common moves, and then you can see how to deal with c5. So first of all, this queen trade is actually the top choice of the computer, and it's pretty boring to deal with. For white, what I recommend here, if you want like a very easy game, you can obviously just trade the queen. And then the way you would develop is, let's say, pawn to f3 to support your center, your bishop, your knight, your other bishop, and then you can castle queenside. So, but you have no advantage here. None. The computer will not tell you that you have an advantage here. I like queen e3. This is a very tricky move. It's trying to rotate the queen to g3 in many positions. From g3, you have eyes here and there, and also you bring your dark squared bishop into the game from the g3 square. Now, at this point, black has two choices which are pretty popular. b6 is the most popular move because they want to go bishop b7, and they also want to go bishop c5. People see that they can attack your queen, so they like to play b6 here. Bishop b4 happens. You just block with the pawn, and then, you know, they're trying to put the bishop on b6. So we'll go here, and you can play queen g3, but also queen e2 is one of the approaches. So we got the light squared bishop out. Now we go here. Now we get a very easy game. We just go after this bishop. Go after this bishop, and once you take it, you can advance with some pawns here, create a same side attack. You can also just develop the bishop, bring the rook, put the bishop on this diagonal. And also a very useful move if you ever want to start a pawn attack is to put the king on h1 and then use all the pawns. So black can also play b6, right? Black can also play b6. Knight c3, a little bit more active because we didn't have to block the check. Bishop c5. And now queen g3. Bishop b7. Bishop f4. We have eyes here. Friendly reminder, we don't take right away because queen takes f2 is devastating. So we have to go here. And now we castle queenside. And this position is very nice for us. I'm not saying it's winning. It's not, but we'll develop our bishop to any of these squares. We also have knight d5 ideas. This trade helps us, in my opinion, because I think black has a lot of light squared weaknesses. And if we ever put our king on b1, it's very, very safe. If black decides to castle this way, we can always move our bishop out of the way or crack, you know, through the center of the board. For example, if black plays knight e7 in this position, a move that I'm right away considering is this move e5. So pawn takes e5, bishop takes e5. I like this. I like g7, right? Very nice position. If queen takes f2, I like queen g7 as a possibility. Also bishop b5 check. I mean, the king is still stuck in the center. We always have to kind of pay attention to that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really like white's chances. And at a minimum, we're going to win 2 pawns here. At a minimum. We can also even trade the queens. And black is just under a lot of pressure. The king has to stay in the middle now. Can't castle this way or this way. And, you know, bishop g2 is possible. But I feel like we're going to get a lot of pressure against black's king in the middle of the board. But that's basically the strategy, okay? This is if they offer us a trade of queens. They could also play d6. This move is just very passive. It happens a lot. It's the most popular move, and here the play is very easy. Develop your knight, develop your bishop, and castle long. Black is not trying to engage with us in a fight. We play f3. We bring the h-pawn, we bring the g-pawn, we start an attack. So one of the most natural ways that black can play here, and it's actually accidentally one of the most dangerous, because what happens is black just runs out of useful moves. For example, they might play bishop e6. Let's say you play g4. Suddenly, black is out of useful moves. If black plays c5, this pawn is just a huge weakness. Black could try a counterattack. Stuff like this does happen. King b1 is always useful, right? And then from here, you play exactly what we've discussed. We have, for example, knight to d5. Hitting the queen. When this happens, you take here with a check. They have to do this because they have to go after your knight. Rook d2, king e7. And here I would play maybe like c4. And this pawn is just a huge weakness forever. So what you do is you finish your development and you just stockpile pressure on the d6 pawn. You advance over here. And the position is, I mean, black has no chance of winning. 0 chance. The only person that has a chance of winning is white. So you always have these like sneaky little ways that you can hop the knight into the middle of the board if they're actually trying to create counterplay against you. And if they don't, like if they, you know, play too slowly, you know, g5 is always very powerful. h4, h5, always very powerful, just to try to soften up the position there. Bishop d3, knight goes to d5, king goes to b1, and that's how you play. Black's attack is always slower than yours because you've always got this nice knight d5 that comes in, trades some pieces, and keeps the attack going. I mean, d6 is not much, and the worst move that they could play is knight f6, because then comes e5, and now black is in all sorts of trouble. Knight f6 actually happens a lot. It's the third most popular move behind this and this. It's a move you will face a lot more if you're like 1200 and below, because I think people sense the danger. Higher, e5 is almost a knockout. So this is very common. They pin the pawn. We play bishop e3. Now the knight is still hanging. And now black is almost on the verge of being totally lost, because after d6, knight d5, they're in severe danger. And if they go here, you take. Now they can't take with the bishop. So they have to take, let's say, with the queen. Now you have bishop f4. Knight c7 is a threat. If queen e6, you just block. Knight c7 is coming, long castle is coming, and the game is nearly already over. So that can't really work. And if e5, you know, look, same thing. If knight g8 now, which I haven't even covered, because queen e7, bishop e3, knight g8, so it should, you know, like, you should understand knight c3. There's nothing really to drill here. Knight c3, bishop f4, and castle long. Knight c3, bishop f4, castle long. I mean, you gained so much time. Another thing that they can play is c5, which is actually not that bad. We go here, and we're trying to see where this knight is going to go. I mean, probably the best is for them to retreat home. We already know we have knight c3, we have bishop c4, we have, you know, dark square bishop out and long castle. But the knight could get in a lot of trouble here if it ventures too far forward. For example, knight c3. d5 is a very common thing here. We have en passant, and then we have bishop b5, and black is lost. All right. So they could also go back. Play here is very simple. Knight c3, bishop f4, bishop d3, castle. Every piece, right? Knight, bishop, bishop, long castle. And this is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous position for black, because they don't even have a knight defending the king now. So yeah, this is super, super unpleasant. The point is knight f6 is a bad move. Just remember e5. Remember that c5 you're going here, and you're chasing the queen around. Sorry, you're chasing the knight around wherever it moves. Knight takes d4 is a move you will face a lot. You need to remember queen d4, this developing scheme. And against queen f6, you retreat to e3, knight c3, slide the queen over, get the dark square bishop out, choose which way to castle, and your position will be great.